Bernie Sanders. You guys all remember him. I think after 2020, we've all had quite enough, unfortunately. And, he just keeps getting further and further and further and further away from everything that he claims to be. So Code Pink were protesting outside his office at Congress, and he basically had the police, the Capitol Police, just come and arrest them, handcuff them, like just for holding up signs. They don't have pots and pans. Highly recommend this, or vuvuzelas, even more. They're not violent. They're not doing anything bad. They're just holding up a piece of paper with his own words. And the quote, this is Bernie Sanders, says that we must work hard, quote, we must work hard to achieve a realistic and mutually agreeable resolution, one that is acceptable to Ukraine, Russia, the United States, and our European allies. Yeah, it was called the 2+4 agreement, but okay. So let's sit down, let's negotiate, and let's come up with a diplomatic solution. Again, this was done 30 years ago, before I was even born. But they violated it. In any case, he is right. And I think this is a reasonable, sane, and progressive, and, just a good thing to do, right? Not just to say, not just to write it on a piece of paper, to do it. But Bernie Sanders, I mean, what does he do now? Well, he wants to send weapons to Ukraine, right? Aid. No, this is not aid. When you take a bunch of cash and in Washington, and you go and give it to Wall Street, this has nothing to do with Ukraine. In any case, he got people arrested, like actually arrested. Here are the videos.
Vermonters want peace.
Do you have any comment?
I'm from Vermont, and I voted for Bernie every time from Congress on. I wasn't there when he was mayor. But Vermonters want.
Jimmy, why did you protest outside of Bernie?
Everyone knows that the first thing you do to people who voted for you is you get the Capitol Police to arrest them.
Sanders' office.
To end the war in Ukraine, end U.S. funding for the war, no funding for war, funding for health care,
Jimmy Leach
housing.
is from Burlington, Vermont. He's a constituent of Bernie Sanders getting arrested. Right here.
Look at this Gestapo shit, Mr. Muscle Man. What? Come on, man. I thought this is the land of the free. Even if you're gonna say, well, he's causing a disturbance, the guy's his constituent. He is obliged and obligated to see him, right? There's no way around this.
What are we demanding Bernie do, Jimmy?
We want him to end the war. Speak out against the war. If he spoke out against the war, it would make a huge difference. It would make a huge difference. He's lined up for using and abusing Ukrainians. And he's been supporting using and abusing Vermonters who live in the terrible noise zone of the F-35 at the airport. 115 decibel, F-35 taking off and landing.
My ears shuddered and retracted within themselves upon hearing the number of decibels. Jesus, you go deaf, man. You go deaf. That is ridiculous. Can you having to listen to that all the time?
Bernie is for diplomacy. I'm here to remind him that.
Just to be clear, I meant listening to the jets, huh? I don't mean the guy in the video. He was saying how loud the jets are in Vermont, and yeah, I was scared by the number of decibels. This is so unfair. They're just like, they're not even properly arresting them. They use like these plastic things, which obviously is, I think, either way, right? It just shows you how pathetic it is. Like, what is the point of this? What are you restraining them for, man? Come on. Look, here's a close up actually.
Why are you getting arrested, Jody? Why? It says that Bernie is for diplomacy. I'm here to remind him that he knows diplomacy is the right thing. He knows peace is the right thing. We're here to tell him we need peace. He needs to call on Biden to go to the negotiating table. Don't tell us that Putin won't, because the United States isn't. Do it. Do it. Let them fail. You're failing right now. Let them fail. People are dying.
I'm gonna let you finish in a second, but I just wanted to say that this is what I was saying. You know, like if it's really the Russians that are the problem, well, like demonstrate this to me, prove it to me. Like try to meet their needs in a way that is sensible and reasonable for everybody, and then when they still behave like this, then I will believe you. But the problem is that nobody even tried. Nobody even tried, you know, to actually engage in diplomacy. It was just like, no, middle finger, screw you. So, like she said, let them fail. Abdicate, you know, your duty to try as a statesman to convince them not to do X, Y, Z, or to, you know, to see the light and your point of view. Don't just like abandon that and then go straight to war. No.
This happened, I was here 21 years ago, and they didn't listen. And 6 million people are dead because of the war in Iraq. We have to listen. War kills, weapons kill. We have to stop this war. People are dying, and the people in the United States are paying for it.
Does the people in the United States want a war?
No, the people in the United States do not want a war, and they're paying for it. Not only are they paying for it with their tax dollars, but they're paying for it in the shredding of this literal fabric of society. When we think that weapons are the way, what happens? Then the only way that you can have a discussion, the only way that you can work on differences is with weapons and guns. That's not how it happens. Nothing is solved with weapons and guns. Nothing. Where's the leadership that models sitting down at a table and coming up with some agreements? This has to end. We have to stop this war to World War III.
Go back to when you used to say being anti-war. What do we want? Peace!
What do we want?
You just can't really you can't win with them. You cannot win with them. They're gonna do whatever they want, and all this crap about, well, oh, you have to protest. You know, you have to demonstrate peacefully. No, they don't even let you do that. You have no freedom of speech. You know, and if this were happening in Russia, it would be all over the news. Would it not be on CNN? And it was, right? They were saying, oh, look at this woman. She held up an empty sign, like, you know, a blank piece of paper, and she was still arrested. Honestly, that was kind of funny, though. I was like, this is an absurd level of policing. I just don't know what to make of it. No, but is the U.S. any better? You can't, like, if Russia's bad and people cannot protest and criticize the war, what is this? Are they not getting arrested? What have they done? They're protesting. They're also constituents of Bernie Sanders, so it's their right to go and visit him in his goddamn office and talk to him. He has to see them, and they're being arrested for quoting him. I mean, you can't sit there and tell me the Russians have less civil liberties and less democracy, and their way of life is primitive, and then, you know, of course, repeat this propaganda about North Korea and any country that doesn't allow American banks and, you know, and companies into their country. But, you know, you can't sit there and tell me that is true, and then look at this and tell me, well, in America, no. In the West, we really have like real freedom of speech. We are really free and superior to everybody else. Look at the videos that I just showed you. Here, this is Bernie Sanders' own goddamn website. Under his foreign policy section, Booker, who was running for Senate, I'm never going to stop repeating this because it makes me so angry, was running for Senate, and he did not even have a foreign policy section on his website. How the fuck do you run for goddamn Congress in a global superpower and you don't have a foreign policy section? What are you going to do when they say, oh, here, we want to invade Iraq and kill, you know, like 1 million people. Are you down or not? What, do you not have something to say? How can we make sure that you will be a tool for Israel and vote every time to give them that money? We need to know beforehand that you're going to play ball, man. So this is Bernie Sanders' website, and he thankfully does have a foreign policy section. And he says that he wants to implement a foreign policy which focuses on democracy, human rights, diplomacy and peace, and economic fairness, meaning he will send weapons to Ukraine. Yes. I think I've made my point. You can't win with these people, man. You can't win with these people. Bernie Sanders, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is like an avid Zionist, You know, it's always disappointing with the Republicans. You know, the ones, especially the ones who are like really like, oh, we are against the war in Ukraine, and then they turn around and say we love Israel. Oh, we want to bomb China. You know, you can't win with them, man. At the end of the day, they're all neoconservatives in one way or another. They just are.